The night was deep and quiet when Ayan, the youngest CEO in the city, was driving home after a long, exhausting meeting. He stopped near an old alley because his car detected something moving on the side of the road. He stepped out, wondering if it was an animal, but then a tiny voice shook him. "Sir, please help." A little girl around 7 stood trembling, holding a small school backpack. Her hair was messy and her eyes swollen as if she had cried for hours. Ayan knelt beside her, trying to understand, because the fear in her face felt heavier than the darkness around them. "Sir, Mommy can't walk," she said, clutching his sleeve with desperate strength. "Please help her. She fell and she won't get up." Ayan felt something twist inside him because he was a single father too. And he knew that fear. "Show me where she is," he said, and without wasting a second, the girl pulled his hand and ran deeper into the narrow alley. The air grew colder, the ground rougher, and somewhere ahead he heard a faint, painful breath. A nervous chill ran down his neck, but he kept following because the little girl never let go of his hand. They stopped beside a weak, flickering streetlight. There on the ground lay a woman, curled and shivering, trying to sit up but failing every attempt. Her clothes were torn, her feet bare, and her arms bruised as if she had fallen several times. "Mommy, wake up, please," the girl cried, dropping to her knees. Ayan rushed forward and the woman tried to lift her head but collapsed again. She was conscious but too weak to move. Ayan spoke softly. "Are you hurt?" she whispered. "Something is wrong. I lost balance again. I can't feel my legs." The little girl burst into tears. "Sir, we waited for so long. No one stopped. Everyone looked away." Ayan lifted the woman's arm gently and she winced in pain. He looked around the alley, shocked that someone in this condition had been left alone. He tried helping her stand, but her legs trembled and she slipped against his chest. "It's okay," he said, grabbing her before she hit the ground again. "You are safe now." For a moment she looked at him, confused, as if she couldn't believe someone had actually come to help. Her daughter wrapped both arms around her mother's waist. "Sir, please don't leave us." Ayan tightened his hold on the woman and made a silent promise he would not walk away from them. Ayan picked her up in his arms carefully, and the little girl followed close, holding onto his coat. As he carried her out of the alley, she gripped his shirt with the last ounce of her strength. Her voice barely a whisper. "Don't let me fall." "You won't," he assured her. He reached his car and opened the back door, placing her softly on the seat. The girl climbed in and held her mother's hand as if she feared losing her. Ayan started the engine and drove toward the nearest clinic. The girl kept watching him through the mirror, her eyes filled with trust she had given to a stranger simply because he stopped. "Sir," she said softly, "my name is Hira and Mommy is Sana." Ayan smiled gently. "My name is Ayan." Hira wiped her tears with the back of her hand. "You saved us." He glanced at Sana, who was breathing unevenly, as if every breath was a battle. "What happened?" he asked. Sana struggled to answer. "I worked 2 jobs. I skipped meals to save for rent. I was running home after my shift. I slipped. I think I sprained something." Hira tightened her grip. "Mommy didn't tell anyone she was hurting." Ayan kept driving faster, feeling an anger he couldn't explain. No one should suffer like this, he thought, especially not a woman carrying so much alone. At the clinic, the nurse rushed out with a wheelchair. Ayan lifted Sana again and placed her gently on it. Hira stayed glued to her mother's side. After the checkup, the doctor explained that Sana had severe exhaustion, dehydration, and a sprained ankle. "She needs rest support and proper meals," the doctor said. "Her body is shutting down from overwork." Ayan looked at Sana, who tried to hide her tears as if pain was something she had learned to swallow silently. "Why didn't you ask for help?" he asked softly. "Because Hira is all I have," she said. "I can't afford to fall sick." Her voice cracked, and I can't let her see me weak. Hira hugged her. "Mommy, you are not weak." Ayan stood there watching them, feeling a strange pull in his chest. He remembered all the nights he stayed awake for his own daughter after his wife left. He remembered fighting alone and pretending to be strong. Maybe that is why seeing Sana struggle felt like looking into a mirror. Outside, he paid the bills quietly without telling her. When he returned, Sana tried to stand, but her leg gave out. Ayan caught her again. "Let me help you," he said firmly. "You are not going back to that alley tonight." Ayan took them to his home because he could not leave them alone, and the clinic insisted she needed supervision. His housekeeper prepared a warm room. Hira looked around in amazement, whispering, "Mommy, it's so big." Sana tried to protest. "Ayan, you have already done too much." He shook his head. "You helped by trusting me." He guided her to the bed and placed a warm blanket over her. Hira sat beside her mother, still trembling from the trauma of the night. Ayan brought warm soup for both of them. Sana tried to say she was fine, but her hands were shaking. Let me, he said, gently feeding her the first few spoons. No one had ever cared for her like this. A tear slipped down her cheek. Hira held her hand. See, Mommy, I told you angels exist. Sana looked at Ayan confused. Why are you helping us? Because someone once helped me when I was alone, he replied, and I always promised I would do the same for someone else. Sana lowered her gaze, touched by a kindness she had long forgotten existed. Hira leaned against her mother, finally calming her breathing after hours of fear. Later that night, Ayan checked on them again. Sana was sitting up brushing Hira's hair slowly. You should rest, he said. She looked at him a little nervous. I don't want to trouble you. You aren't. He sat on the chair across the room, watching how gentle she was with her daughter despite her own pain. Sana sighed. Yeah, and truth is I lost my job last week. My landlord warned me that we will be thrown out soon. Hira looked at Ayan with wide, hopeful eyes. Sir, will everything be okay now? Ayan nodded. You both will not suffer anymore. He stood up and walked closer. Sana, you are strong, but even strong people deserve help. She blinked back, tears struggling with the feeling of being seen for the first time in years. Hira wrapped her small arms around her mother and whispered, Mommy, we are safe. Ayan felt something shift inside him, something he had locked away for a long time. Maybe destiny brought them to him. Maybe he was meant to be there in that alley. The next morning, sunlight filled the room. Sana woke slowly, feeling lighter than she had in months. Hira jumped excitedly when she saw breakfast on the table. Ayan stood there wearing casual clothes, a gentle smile on his face. I made this for both of you. Sana stared in shock. You cooked. He laughed, trying not to look embarrassed. Well, I tried. The food looked warm and comforting, and Hira ate happily. Sana took a bite and felt her eyes sting with gratitude. She whispered, Thank you. Ayan sat across from her. There is something else I want to offer. Sana looked up confused. I want to give you a job in my company. Hira gasped, Mommy, you got a job. Sana shook her head, overwhelmed. Ayan, this is too much. No, he said, you deserve stability, strength, and respect, and I trust you. Sana looked at him, unable to speak, as her heart filled with a warmth she had not felt in years. Hira held both their hands as if she sensed something changing between them. Day after day, Sana grew stronger. She started her work and quickly won everyone's respect with her honesty and dedication. Ayan spent time with Hira, helping her with homework, driving her to school, hearing her laughter echo through his big empty home. One evening after work, Hira tugged his sleeve. Sir, can you come with us today? Mommy wants to show you something. Sana stood near the garden, walking without support. Her sprained ankle healed. She looked at him with a shy, soft smile. Thank you for saving our lives. Ayan stepped closer. No. Hira grabbed both their hands and giggled. See, Mommy, I told you God sends help when hearts get tired. And in that moment, the world around them felt warm, gentle, and full of new beginnings.